Man accused of killing a Ukrainian refugee on the Lynx Blue Line train is sitting in jail after making his first court appearance just this morning.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I just tap on the video. I'm just gonna hop right into it. So, Monday, doing another North Carolina story. This one's a kind of a eerie, sad one, but this one is coming out of Charlotte. So today we will be talking about DeCarlos Brown and Ira. When I say her name, because she is Ukrainian, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm just not great at pronouncing certain things. So, Irina and Zarteski. Boy, I jacked her name up. I'm sorry. But this is a story that is actually going national. I'm actually, reading a New York Post article right now, as well as the video has came out. So, video is kind of graphic, but I'll post in a couple minutes after I explain some shit. So, why we are talking about these two individuals today is Miss. I'm gonna have to come up. I'm gonna say Miss Z, so I don't jack her name up. Miss Z was stabbed to death on a light rail train in Charlotte, with horrifying surveillance footage showing the moment the unexpected young woman was brutally attacked. Like I said, DeCarlos Brown, she attacked him. So DeCarlos Brown Jr., 35, is allegedly pulling out a pocket knife, getting out of his seat behind Z before the video cuts, just as he prepares to plunge the blade into her. Footage shows. So, pretty much got the story from that. DeCarlos Brown, ends up stabbing Miss Z. And, and she succumbed to her injuries, which is very sad. So RP her. And, obviously now DeCarlos Brown has been arrested for murder. So, one, getting into the backstory of Miss Z. Miss Z was actually a Ukrainian immigrant who, refugee. Because she was basically, escaping the war and things of that sort. And she came over to Charlotte, basically, get a better life. She was working at a pizza spot, getting off work. And she was, obviously was using the train to get home. And this happened to her, which is very sad. Now,
Marutska enters the Blue Line at the East-West Boulevard station stop. You can see she takes a seat directly in front of DeCarlos Brown, the suspect. At first, nothing seems unusual, but 4 minutes later, he pulls out what appears to be a pocket knife and suddenly stabs Zarutska multiple times. Zarutska then collapses.
First, you're probably wondering, what's the motive behind this? So we don't have a motive at the moment. These two individuals did not know each other, but it is reminiscent, and I don't know where this person got it from, but they said DeCarlos' mother has, publicly said this before, not this specific incident, but DeCarlos Brown obviously has, I'm not gonna say obviously, but he's went to jail before. He has a long criminal history with multiple arrests since 2011. His charges have included felony, larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and making threats. He previously served 5 years in prison for armed robbery. So, like I said, he is a felon. 5 years in prison. Now, like I said, it was some remnants. I don't know where the hell they got this from, but supposedly DeCarlos Brown mother has spoke to the public before and said she felt like he should have never been released from prison, obviously for the armed robbery, because he is a supposed schizophrenic and he's very aggressive, obviously, from the aggressive part. But that is very sad to see. Now, obviously, this has actually started a political debate in a sense because it's a refugee and things of that sort. So a lot of people are expecting liberals and things to speak up, which I don't understand for real, because that would make more sense for motherfuckers to be on liberals' ass if the immigrant, not him, I keep calling him immigrant, the refugee actually did the crime, but we have American black men who actually did the crime. So I don't understand what the point of that is. I don't know if they're trying to get at people and talking about the prison system and the rehabilitation prison system, but I don't know. But obviously, like I just said, this does show a little bit of an issue with the rehabilitation of the prison system. The prison system is meant to, like I said, rehabilitate, but obviously the prison system ends up, a lot of men, if you're not mentally strong in some aspects, ends up destroying mentals and ends up, actually making life worse, and which is not the intention to it. But that's a way bigger issue than this. I mean, than what I can say. But like I said, it's very sad. to see that he did this for no reason. Obviously I'm not schizophrenic myself. I don't really know anybody with that anyway. So I don't know what triggers them exactly. So it is sad to see. I don't know what the hell triggered him to do this, but this has to be something related to that. I'm not trying to, make no excuses for him because he is absolutely wrong for what he did. But for him to just whip out a knife for somebody he does not know just because they sat in front of him and things of that sort, there has to be some type of mental illness attached to it. Yes, we have evil people in the world, but usually, even with evil people, they still have some kind of motive. There's no real motive here. She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time because that really could have been anybody. But it's really not much to say now. It's over. So RIP her. And I don't know how to feel about DeCarlos Brown because, at one end, yes, he should be punished because this is a heinous crime. And then at the other end, he really might not. It really shows he might not be mentally well. So somebody should focus on, helping his mental process, probably, giving him some medication because schizophrenic is a very, serious thing. So I'm very torn on the issue, but that's really all I got to say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I just TikTok on the video and we up.